wide receivers. Talk to me, Steve.
Yeah, I think this is actually a pretty good spot for Amari Cooper. Matt's all been all over the Cowboys thus far, but I think this is a really good spot for Amari Cooper going up against the 49ers. They've been running like this carousel of characters at cornerback, whether it's injuries or COVID issues or whatnot. But, Cooper has quietly seen at least 7 targets in 4 of his last 5 games, putting up some solid production at his price point. I mean, he's all the way down at 5,900. That's a dramatic drop off than what we've seen from him over at least the past month or so. This is such a cheap price for Amari Cooper. So at this price point, for somebody that's getting the amount of volume that he does against a very beatable 49ers secondary, I think this is a great spot for Amari Cooper. This is a value we very rarely see for somebody with the volume that he gets. So I think Amari Cooper is one of the better plays at wide receiver this week.
Yeah, just 5,900. Pierce, where are you going for your wide receiver?
Well, let's take the other Cooper, and he's not much of a value, but Cooper Kupp, he's the best receiver in football. No one can guard him. You don't really need much more deeper analysis than that. He has a great offensive line that's protecting his above-average quarterback, and also Arizona's pass defense, not very good. In December, they lost Robert Alford, one of the best cornerbacks in the league. Since then, they've allowed 14 touchdowns and just 1 interception. This is, again, a defense that can be targeted, that on paper supposedly is good, but they are not playing well. Yeah, you got to find a way to afford Kupp, but if you can get there, you absolutely jam him in.
All right, Matt, where are you going?
So Steve mentioned the game that I've been talking about with the Cowboys. I'll go back to the game that these guys were talking about with Eagles and Bucks. Tampa Bay is really shorthanded at wide receiver. So Cyril Grayson was elevated to their number 2 for the final week of the season, and he got injured also. They're obviously already without Antonio Brown and Chris Godwin. Now we have Brashad Perriman at 4,700, who I think might be the best true value play. I mean, Pierce is right. Like, Cooper Kupp is still a value at $9,000, but I think among cheap players, which may be, a tough commodity this week, just it's going to be hard to fit in expensive players. Perriman at 4,700 figures to be a starting wide receiver, assuming Grayson's out. And he's in a game where there should be a lot of passing, and especially with Tom Brady being your quarterback in that game. Jalen Hurts may be running the ball himself on the other side, but Brady's going to have to throw. So I think Perriman could be in a good spot depending how the injury report shakes out later in the week.